Time is now 6:01 p.m. on Thursday, March 26th, and I'll call to order our McMinnville Fire District regular board meeting. And first up is roll call. I'll call on Donna to do that.
President Gervin,
Here.
Vice President Smith, Secretary Pratt,
Here.
Treasurer Trapp,
Here.
Director Hyder.
All right, next up we have the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'll call on Secretary Pratt to lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. That brings us to changes to the agenda. Is there any changes by directors or staff this evening? Hearing none, that'll move us to the consent agenda where we have item A, minutes from our February 26th board meeting. If directors have had a chance to review those, I'd entertain a motion.
I move to approve. They were perfect again.
We have a motion on the floor by Secretary Pratt
I'll second that.
and a second by Treasurer Trapp. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes 3-0. Next up, we have our public comment period. This is part of the meeting where anybody on Zoom could use the raise their hand function, and we can be unmuted. We ask you to keep your comments to 3 minutes. And do we have any public comment in the audience today? Nothing in the audience. We'll call once again for anybody on Zoom if you'd like to make a public comment. I don't see any hands raised yet. All right, we'll close the public comment period, and if we have, and we're gonna go back to the financial report, our February 26th dashboard. Crystal, could you enlighten us on that?
Good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Yep. Live from San Francisco.
Perfect. Good evening and thank you for having me this evening. Before you is your financial recap, and we are 2/3 of the way through the year. So good job, everybody. We've made it this far. And not only is your financial statement before you, we've also been working a lot on the budget for next year. So good job for all of the work that's gone into that. As of this point, your revenues are a total of 82%. We would expect a little bit more property tax revenue to come in. I don't know of any reason why we wouldn't make that full 25-26 budget. But just know that we are waiting for those items to come in. And then we are hoping that we would get some GEMT revenues in the next month, and that would also show as an increase in revenues. But at this point, everything's looking really good on the revenue side. Before I move to expenses, do you have any questions? Okay.
I don't.
Okay, hearing none, I'll just keep moving. At 67% or 2/3 of the way through the year, our personnel services is at 63%, so that's great. Additionally, you can see that the materials and the services and utilities and overhead are coming in under that 67%, so those are trending nicely. Professional development, we did have some training, always happens in the spring, so we don't anticipate a whole lot more between now and the end of the year, but those dollars, expenses did come in and are shown there. Capital outlay to date is $5,000, and we did purchase a new mechanic vehicle. You'll see only $1,000 payment per month until the next fiscal year when we will pay the remaining balance. So we don't expect to expend over the amount for capital outlay during this budget cycle. And debt service, there will be another debt payment a few debt payments in June, but that also is right in line with where it should be based on our amortization schedules. So overall, our revenues compared to expenses for the fiscal year is our revenues are greater than expenses by 3.8 million. So that's a good place to be at this point. And I'll just pause there if the chief wants to add anything or if there's other questions.
Yeah, if I could just add, for the board, we're sitting at checking at $689,185.97. I'm sorry, I said checking, but it's all of our first federal accounts. And then in LGIP, we're sitting at $3,342,170.59, if that matters.
Any questions for Crystal or Chief at this point? Let's keep going.
Okay.
That take us to our budget hearing. So at this point, I'll open the budget hearing at 6:07 p.m. And Crystal, are you doing the presentation?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. So before you, thanks to Michelle for realizing that I had an error and it should not include the third whereas statement in the debt service fund. So I believe that there's a corrected resolution in front of you. And thanks to Michelle for finding and correcting that. The purpose of this resolution is to reallocate the expenditures from where they were into what's more appropriate for the district and the operational needs. So we are transferring $2.4 million. 2.1 of that is going to operations and then we're also including a transfer in the general fund non-departmental. And those are coming from non-departmental and contingency. And when we originally budgeted, we had all of the benefits and PERS expenses coming out of non-departmental instead of being allocated amongst the different divisions. And so we are truing that up to be more transparent with our expenses so that we know what our true costs of our employees are. Additionally, we have reviewed the budget document itself and the one-time revenues that we've received from Conflag and from the sale of assets over the past couple, 3 years. We have accumulated that money and are able to know what that true total is and then transfer it at the end of this fiscal year, which establishes the beginning fund balance of the new capital reserve vehicle replacement fund. So I'll pause there if there's any questions.
Any questions from the board? Good to keep going.
Okay. So I think at this point you want to ask for public comment as part of the hearing.
Yeah, if your presentation's done.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
If there's anybody on Zoom that would like to make any comments regarding the budget hearing, use the raise your hand function now and we'll unmute you. And anybody in the audience? Seeing and hearing none, we'll close the public hearing, the budget hearing. That'll take us to our action required items. First up, we have resolution 2026-04, requesting approval to establish a supplementary budget. You have the edited version in front of you, which was just a typo versus the one that was in the board packet that's posted. Anybody have any questions on that before we take it to a vote? All right, with that, I would entertain a motion of resolution number 2026-04 approving the supplemental budget.
So moved.
We have a motion by Secretary Pratt and a second.
I'll second that.
Second by Treasurer Trapp. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. That'll take us to resolution number 2026-03, requesting approval to establish additional budgetary funds. Crystal, do you want to brief anything on that, or Chief?
I can, if that's okay.
Yeah.
These three funds, so on the review of the budget and just kind of seeing how best to present your budget for the coming years and increase transparency and traceability within the document. And from year to year, it was determined that by creating these three funds, we are able to kind of track things a little bit easier and more cleanly. The only one that's required by local budget law is the Capital Reserve Fund. So, however, the requirement is to create that fund by resolution and then review it at least, or sorry, not more than 10 years. So we are creating the debt service fund just to track while we don't have any, I was going to say we don't have any bonded debt, but actually the city has bonded debt that we're paying a portion of. And then there's the capital project fund for specifically for Station 15 and the improvements and the potential, well, the revenue that we're going to get next year. Just being able to capture those expenditures. And then we're also creating the capital reserve fund, as I described in the hearing, to be able to maintain a vehicle replacement fund. So I'll stop there if anyone has questions.
Any questions for Crystal?
No questions.
No questions? Anything else, Crystal?
No, sir, but thank you very much.
Yep. With that, I'd entertain a motion regarding resolution number 2026-03, establishing a debt service fund and the capital project fund.
So, Commissioner.
A motion on the floor by Secretary Pratt and a second.
Second base.
Second by Treasurer Trapp. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Next up, we have requesting approval to pursue the Tran loan for $4.75 million. And I believe Chief is gonna make that request.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. So as in years past, and I think we did this about the same time last year, we will be going out for 4.7, or we are asking your permission to go out for a 4.75 Tran loan, 4.75 million Tran loan. That is the money that gets us from July 1st to approximately December 1st. We've done it the last 2 years as a new fire district. In both cases, we paid the entirety of that loan off in the month of December. And so I have made contact with Mr. Ulbrich. He is willing to run this for us again. And if the board approves us to pursue this, then we'll work with him to get quotes and bids from multiple banks to get the best deal that we can. We do get that money. This one change this year, and it's just more for budgeting purposes and auditing purposes. We will not receive the funds until after July 1st, with our cash carryover is not going to be any issue. But it'll help us from a budgeting perspective and an audit perspective. So those are some additions that we made from previous years. And so we would like to ask this is not a resolution. You don't have to vote on this. I'm just asking your permission to move forward. You will vote on the resolution if you approved me to move forward once that is once a bank is selected and the resolution and the supporting documents are completed.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions or concerns around the Tran loan?
That 4.75, is that the same amount we got last year?
It is the same amount of last year. That is correct.
I think Treasurer Trapp unmuted at one point. Did you have a question, Treasurer Trapp?
I think Director Pratt asked the exact same question I was going to allude to. So thank you.
All right. No other questions? Yes. Go ahead, Chief.
I think so.
I'm good with it. Treasurer Trapp, do you have any concerns?
No, sir, I have no concern.
All right. Give you what you need, Chief.
That is what I need. Thank you.
All right. So next up, we have our final action item required this evening, which is Resolution 2026-02 requesting approval of a Social Security referendum. And I believe Administrative Services Director Michelle Teed will take that.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. President. This resolution is essentially just like the one you approved last year. As you probably remember, the district can refer the vote for whether or not employees want to participate in Social Security once every year. Our vote last year was on July 21st. So this resolution would allow us to work with the Social Security liaison, make a plan for getting ballots out, also plan for communication about the benefits. And you'll see that there are materials in your packet related to the benefits. Amanda put that together. There is one change to the resolution that you have in front of you as opposed to the one that was in the packet, which is I revised the date. Previously, it said January 1st, 2024. My understanding is that we cannot go back to January 1st of 2024. The vote has been held and we cannot revisit that. So I revised the language to say performed on or after January 1st, 2024, just leaving that possibility open, or the date determined to be legally permissible. So that is something still to be determined with the Social Security liaison. I did quite a bit of research on that and did not find legal authority for what the next effective date could be. We have discussed internally that the next effective date would be the start of the quarter following the vote, which would be October 1st of 2026. But I will clarify that. And my hope is that this language will be adequate to go forward and we will not need the board to vote on a revised resolution.
So the very fancy way of saying to be determined.
Yes, thank you. Chief, did you have anything to add on that?
Nothing to add at this time.
Okay, are there any questions?
Any questions from the board? There's a pretty extensive list of the benefits of Social Security outside of your standard dollar amount you get at retirement age. If anybody had any questions on that, Amanda's here as well to answer any questions.
So this resolution is going to force a revote, is that correct?
Yes. I hesitate over the word force, but yes, that is the effect.
But as before, people aren't forced to vote in the process. But yes, it will put a vote before the body of everybody, not just the local, but all of our staff as the district.
That participate in PERS, that are members of PERS. So same criteria as last time.
Any other questions before we move resolution 2026-02 to a vote? Or to a motion, I guess? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion around resolution number 2026-02 of putting to a vote the Social Security referendum.
I make that motion.
We have a motion on the floor by Secretary Pratt. And a second.
I will second that.
Second by Treasurer Trapp. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Next up, we have other board business. First up, we have LoSAP. Treasurer Trapp, anything new on that?
Nothing new, no, sir. Just have an updated balance for you. It's $961,937.18.
Thank you for that. Any questions for Treasurer Trapp?
No questions.
Next up, we have board information reports. Any directors have any information to share? Hearing none, we'll move on to our information reports. And first up, we have Local 3099. President Bennett, would you like to make any comments this evening?
No updates from the union. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to vote on Social Security again. It makes a lot of our members happy that they get an opportunity to share their voice again.
Thank you. Next up, we have the Volunteer Association President Pete Goodman.
Hello, everybody. Nothing to report this month for the volunteers.
Thanks, Pete. And now we know he'll have something, the fire chief's report.
Why do you got to blame me? I'm going to start with Chief Hannafin. Chief Hannafin, could you start for us, please?
Yes, thank you. Good evening. So the update, of course, is within your packet. We have a few training classes coming down the pipe to a couple different Instructor One opportunities. Several of our members are needing that training, so they'll be partaking in that. And then an apparatus operator with a pump, so essentially an AO class, is coming up here just within a few weeks in April. We found that we have some gaps within our volunteer group as far as the qualified drivers. So we're looking forward to getting at least 3 volunteers currently are signed up for that. And then we have 1 to 2 career staff that will be taking place in that class as well. Beyond that, we will be having an all hands wildfire training at the beginning of April and preparing our crews for conflagration deployment in the summer ahead. For EMS, we processed several of national certificates for renewal. So in total number, we have about 23 people who are qualified with their national EMS certifications. It's split almost half. So some expire this year, some expire next year. So we're taking care of those who expire at the end of this month. And I have no other report. Any questions?
Any questions for Training Chief Hannafin? Thank you.
Director Teed, could you go next, please?
Sure. Thank you, Chief. For the Administrative Services Division, I've listed a few things that we worked on over the last 4 weeks, at least as of the date I prepared the report. Hiring and recruitment really is the priority right now. Obviously, Amanda's here, which is terrific. And this might be a good opportunity for me to introduce her. We stole her from Empower, and she's been doing HR and payroll and various and sundry other things related to that, including benefits, for 13 years. So a real asset to us. She's very sharp, has come on very quickly to the work that we're doing, and I'm just delighted that she's here. So is there anything you wanted to add?
No, just thank you for the opportunity. It's been a great 4 weeks.
She's also the chair of the local SHRM chapter. Can you remind us what that stands for?
Yamaha County Human Resources Association. So SHRM, so Society for Human Resources Management.
It's a certificate.
Yeah, it's a national organization.
So a real benefit to us. And she's going to be hosting a meeting here for that group, which I think is terrific. So anyway, welcome. In addition, we have some other postings up right now. We're working through various processes to finalize hiring of our 4 dual roles. They continue in the steps related to their backgrounds before they get the unconditional offer. Those should be completed by mid-April. 2 of them will be sooner because they started the process sooner, but I don't have any concerns about that, but we'll see what happens. Let's see, we have a posting up for a new division chief, and that closes April 16th. We'll be doing interviews on April 22nd. Chief has structured a process where the applicants need to complete a practical. So they have to answer a question which is designed to demonstrate their analytical abilities and give us a sense of how they think about problems that come to them, as well as 2 panels. One is internal, one will be external of their peers. So Yamhill County, MACPD, DVFNR, so far that's who we have in mind for the external panel. And then finally, we finalized and posted the notice of promotional opportunity for the captain's process. That closes April 24th, and the tests will be April 28th and 29th. Chief Hannafin worked to set up an internal class for folks to complete their instructor coursework so they can obtain certification necessary to qualify for the promotional opportunities. So I feel like that's a huge benefit to our crews. Next, Amanda and I are working on Social Security, the refund part of that. We need to get employees' approval to request their refund on their behalf in order to request the district's refund. That's underway, and then we'll work together on materials for the vote. Let's see, Crystal mentioned we purchased a new mechanics vehicle, and substantively, that's all for my report. Chief, I hope I didn't steal your thunder on the division chief process, so feel free to jump in.
I got plenty of other things to talk about. Happy one thing got taken up. I'm going to move on to the ops chief report. We have continued to finish our CPR training. We're just down to a few volunteers that had missed some time, so we've set up a couple of extra trainings for them. Their Chief Schoaf is also working and is the lead on the captain's exam. As you know, I have recused myself, so any questions that you have on that, I am not part of it in any way, shape, or form. Therefore, please reach out to Chief Schoaf and or Director Teed. Tactile Tuesdays, we've been running Tactile Tuesdays with the crews recently, and that's where the crews are allowed, or we come out to them. They either come out to 15s or we go to 1s, and we run them through tactical scenarios on Tuesdays. Bi-weekly meetings with the students. Chief Schoaf meets every other week with the student interns, and also meets weekly with all battalion chiefs and his mechanic. And then we've started the county fair planning, and that has been. I appreciate the fact that has started earlier this year. We learned a few things this last year, and everybody has been real helpful in kind of working to better this year. Last year went really well. but we learned a few things from last year, and we're already working on a better way to do those this year. And that's all from the operations section. I won't read through the prevention section. A lot of statistics this year or this time to kind of show what our fire prevention division has been up to. A lot of work over the last just month in that division, and you can see the statistics there for them. Any questions on operations or prevention before I move to the chief's report?
Nope.
Hearing none, just one go back on hiring. We did hire 4 individuals. Thanks to your approval last meeting, we hired 2 firefighter paramedics and 2 firefighter EMTs. Tentative start date of May 1st. I actually did get a couple just about an hour ago, got a couple of the psychological examinations that I got to review. You did approve up to 2 overhires. We did move forward with hiring, but one individual has already left and gone to another organization. So we're actually only overhiring by 1. So we'll have an overhire for about a month and a half-ish. But that'll give us a 4-person academy, and I think that's just a much better way to do things. So thank you to everybody in the room that helped us with that. And then one other hiring update, we do have the administrative services director position open now. Our first poll on that is Monday. And we have approximately, it's probably changed since I've left, but last note was approximately 10 qualified. We have more than that, but we're working through qualified candidates right now. Any questions on hiring? Sorry, I'm not there, so I'm going to pause after each one in case there's a question I can't see. Social Security negotiations, we did give in our 90-day negotiation period with the union, we did give them a what-if proposal. A few weeks ago, we did get after the 90-day negotiation period, we did get a reply from them. Their attorney did ask our attorney to call him to talk to him. Our attorney did call him. We have not heard back from their attorney yet, so we're waiting to hear and allow those two to connect. A couple of weeks ago, I met with the Amity Fire District Board of Directors. It was just a meet and greet. We've had Medic 5 in service. This is as of February. We've had Medic 5 in service at Amity for a year now. So it was just more of a meet and greet, a hello, questions or concerns. Chief Hannafin did a great job and got us some statistics, which ultimately I didn't use what I intended them for, but it actually worked out because they had a couple of questions like when is our busy times and stuff for Chief Yoakum. And I actually had those statistics thanks to Chief Hannafin. So it was a great meeting. It was just a meet and greet and a hello. I am going to invite Chief Yoakum to our next board meeting. Again, it's a great partnership. The Amity Fire District Board of Directors is very supportive. The Amity Fire Chief is very supportive. The crews have been getting along well. I think it's a win-win for all of us in both Yamhill County to spread our resources, as well as the McMinnville Fire District ambulance. So it's a great partnership, and I appreciate everything they've done for us and what we've done for them. That ambulance does run just over 30% of the calls in Amity, which is the highest ambulance call volume. It's the highest. Medic 5 takes the most amount of calls that we have in Amity, followed, I think it was by Medic 1 is very close to them. So that's good. And it also significantly decreased the response times in both Amity and really the Dayton-Hopewell area, not city of, but the Dayton-Hopewell area by having that ambulance out there. So again, spreading our ASA response capability out. Water and light update. We did receive a hard copy of a draft agreement between Mac Water and Light and the McMinnville Fire District. We have digitized that, and we have Director Teed and myself are in the process of making some changes. and we'll get that back to them in the very near future for their review and discussion. A couple weeks ago, I spoke at Noon Rotary. As you know, I try and hit as many of the civic organizations in the fire district as I can. Very hospitable group of people, lots of good questions. And again, I just give an overview of the state of the district basically, and what our goals are, what we've accomplished, what our goals are, and what our needs are. So great group of people and was very well supported. And the last thing on my list is, if I can ask someone in the room, did you guys get an updated copy of the budget calendar?
Yes, we did.
Okay, there's only really one change on that budget calendar. Thank you all for working with us on that endeavor. I'm pulling it up here real quick. I apologize. We struggled to get the only change is the first budget committee meeting. As you remember, we had a request at the last meeting to move it because of another meeting. We did that. That conflicted with another person. Long story short, we weren't able to get more than 5 people. So what we did was we moved our first budget hearing meeting to our second meeting, which is that next Thursday, which is a board meeting. We will start with the budget committee meeting. We were able to get all 10 to attend that meeting. So I think that's important for transparency and such. The only real thing it does is in the event that for some reason, which we don't have a historical record of this, but if for some reason we had to go to a second meeting, we have that on the agenda. And the only difference will be instead of the board approving the budget in May, they will approve it in June. So it still allows for the 2 meetings if necessary. If we don't have a second meeting, everything after it falls on the same exact schedule and everything before it falls on the same exact schedule. If we do have to have a second meeting, it'll be that subsequent week. Is there any questions, comments, or concerns on that?
Don't see any.
Thank you for everyone working with Donna, and thank you for Donna reaching out to everybody individually, and thank you all for getting back to her. And with that, Mr. President, unless there's questions for me, I don't have anything else.
Any questions for Chief?
No questions.
All right, that takes us to correspondence. Any correspondence this evening? Any informational items? With that, our next meeting will be Thursday, April 23rd, 2026 at 6 p.m. And I'll adjourn tonight's meeting at 6:39 p.m.